Hello there. Would you dare live a single day without electricity, without clean water, without a phone, and without any way out? Imagine this. You wake up at 4 a.m., freezing cold, lying on a bed of scratchy straw. Your breakfast, just a piece of hard black bread. No meat, no milk, no coffee. And then you step into the misty fields where your day begins. No breaks, no weekends, no escape. This isn't a movie, this isn't a game. This is real, a real day, from the life of a real person in 13th century Europe. This isn't the story of kings, knights, or wizards. It's the story of someone like you, an ordinary soul, surviving in a harsh, dangerous, and deeply spiritual time. So today, walk with me. Not just to watch, but to live a full day in the medieval world. Welcome to a medieval morning, where there are no alarm clocks, only the crowing of roosters and the faint glow of embers from last night's fire. If you're a farmer, before the sun even thinks of rising, you've already slipped on your worn-out shoes and stepped into the freezing fields, starting your day's labor under a sky still heavy with mist. If you're a craftsman, your morning begins with the scent of smoke, the sharp clang of metal on metal, as you sweep your workshop, stoke the coals, and lay out your tools, one by one, with the care of a daily ritual. And if you're a woman in a countryside home, you've woken while the hearth is still cold. You grind the grain, stir the morning porridge, and mend the family's worn clothes. Tasks that go unnoticed, yet without them, nothing would function. And all of this is just the beginning of a very long day. Because in the Middle Ages, life doesn't wait for anyone. From the moment the first rooster crows until the last flicker of sunlight fades, there is only one rule: work, no weekends, no holidays, no break time, only labor, day after day, year after year. If you're a farmer, your hands know no rest. You wake before the mist has lifted and walk barefoot through frozen mud. You till the fields with wooden tools, sow seeds by hand, pull weeds under a blazing sun, harvest wheat one stalk at a time. You feed pigs, collect eggs, haul water from wells miles away. And when the harvest comes, a good portion of it doesn't go to your family. It goes to the landlord, to the church, to taxes. Because surviving in the Middle Ages meant giving away what little you had, just to keep your place on the land. If you're a blacksmith, you live in a world of fire and steel. The forge roars from morning till night. Sparks dance through thick smoke. Your arms grow heavy, your hands are burnt and blistered, but you keep hammering, because without nails, shoes, and tools, the village cannot function. You are essential, but never rested. If you're a weaver, your days are long and silent. The loom creaks like an old tree in the wind, thread by thread. You pull, tie, tighten. A single mistake means unraveling hours of work. Your back aches, your eyes blur, but cloth is precious, and someone must make it. There are no machines, no electricity, no shortcuts, only hands, only repetition, only time, and even time is not yours. What about rest? What about pause? That belongs to the rich, to the lords, to the priests. For everyone else, rest is weakness. Idleness is danger. Slowing down is a risk you can't afford. Even the children aren't spared. By 5 or 6 years old, they are herding sheep, chopping firewood, fetching water, or working as servants in noble households. Their laughter is rare. Their games are chores in disguise. Their future already written in calluses. This is not just a life of work. It's a life of quiet survival. There is no time to wonder, to create, to dream. Only time to endure. And when the sun sets, your body collapses on a bed of straw. The fire is dying. Your muscles ache. You stare at the wooden beams above you, knowing tomorrow is the same. Because in the Middle Ages, you don't live to enjoy life. You live just enough not to die. Midday arrives, but don't expect a feast. Lunch is not a celebration, it's survival. A bowl of thin cabbage soup, some dried beans, if you're lucky, a small piece of pork fat to flavor it. The bread, black bread, so hard you need to dip it in water to chew. No fruit, no dessert, and certainly no wine. That's for the rich. The lords eat roasted meats. They drink red wine. They feast on silver plates. But you eat with your hands, from a wooden bowl, in silence, on a bench, or the cold ground, the water not always clean. So many drink small beer, barely fermented, weak in alcohol, safe enough to avoid disease. Even children drink it. You sit back, maybe stretch for a few minutes. 1 hour if you're lucky. No nap, no comfort, just enough time to stop your stomach from growling. Because once the bowl is empty, the tools are waiting. The field is calling. The forge still burns. Lunch is over, and the day is only halfway through. Every day, the sound of church bells echoes across the village, a sacred reminder God is watching. From the moment you are born to the hour of your death, religion shapes your life. Baptism welcomes you into the world. Last rites send you out. In between, you pray, you kneel, you confess. Every illness is a punishment. Every storm, a sign of sin. Every bad harvest, a test of faith. You don't question, you obey. Because to doubt the church is to risk your soul. Mass is mandatory, so is fasting and confession. Miss them, and you might face public shaming, or worse, excommunication, even execution. The church does not forgive easily, nor does it forget, and fear. It's not just of hell. People whisper about witches, demons, curses. Even doctors are feared. Medicine is primitive, bleeding patients to balance their humors, burning herbs to drive out spirits, praying more than healing. In the Middle Ages, God is everywhere, in every birth, every death, every cough, every shadow. He is hope, he is terror, and there is no life without the church. Evening falls, and with it, true darkness, not the kind you know today. No streetlights, no headlights, no soft glow from a phone screen, no flickering television in the background. When the sun disappears, so does the world. Shadows stretch across the village, the streets vanish, the fields dissolve into blackness, and your home is lit by nothing more than the fragile flicker of a single candle. If you have one, you gather round the fire, or what's left of it. Maybe someone adds a log, maybe not. Wood is precious. Every flame comes at a cost. Dinner is quiet, simple, often the same as lunch. A bowl of soup, a piece of bread, no spices, no variety, just warm enough to keep you going. The fire cracks softly. You chew in silence. Your body is tired, but your mind is still waiting for the day to end. There is no music, no laughter, no distractions, books. Most people can't read, and even if you could, where would you get one? So instead, you pray. It's the only way to reflect, the only thing to hold on to, before the night swallows everything. You whisper to God, you thank Him for another day, even if that day was filled with pain, hunger, and exhaustion. Because in the Middle Ages, just surviving the daylight is already a blessing. By 7 or 8 p.m., you're in bed, not because you want to be, but because there's nothing else to do, nothing to see, nowhere to go. Your bed is a sack of straw. Your blanket is rough and thin. You curl up, listen to the wind push against the wooden walls, and hope, just hope, that tomorrow will be the same. Because, as hard as life is, change is what you fear most. And the darkness outside, it's nothing, compared to the silence inside. Another day is over, just like the one before it, and just like the one that waits tomorrow. You close your eyes and sleep, while the world outside disappears into shadow. In the Middle Ages, death was never far. The average life expectancy, 35 to 40 years, and even that was only if you were lucky. There were no vaccines, no antibiotics, no clean hospitals. A simple cut could turn septic. A cough could become a death sentence. One infected wound, and you could be gone within days. The plague, it didn't just kill, it erased. Whole villages disappeared, families wiped out in a week. Mass graves filled faster than names could be remembered. You watch your neighbors fall, your siblings, your children, and no one knows why, only that it spreads, fast, cruel, and without mercy. But plague is not the only threat. There are bandits on the roads, soldiers marching through your town, taking what they please. Famine when crops fail, heavy taxes that bleed your family dry, and behind all of it, the church, watching, judging, ready to try you for heresy. If you question too much, you could be burned, exiled, tortured, not for what you've done, but for what someone claimed you said. For women, even birth is a battlefield. One wrong turn, one lost breath, and mother and child both die. There are no trained midwives, no doctors as we know them today, only hands, guesses, and prayers. And for every child that survives, many don't. Infant mortality is normal, expected, feared yet accepted. You live every day with the knowledge that death could come suddenly from a fever you've seen before. But this time, it's different. You sleep with fear beside you. You wake with dread behind your eyes, and yet you keep going, because there's no other choice. In the Middle Ages, you don't wait for death. You walk with it, side by side, every step, every breath, until the day it no longer walks beside you, but takes your place. So you think life today is exhausting, overwhelming, too much. Then remember this: you have clean water. You have light when the sun goes down. You have medicine when you're sick. You have the freedom to learn, to read, to think, to choose. In the Middle Ages, people had faith, but no options. They lived simply, but without safety. They lived close to the earth, but carried fear in every breath. They were strong, resilient, real, but every day was a battle just to survive. So before you wish for a simpler time, ask yourself, could you survive without the world you know? Thank you for staying with us until the end of this journey. If you found this video interesting and want to explore more about how people lived, struggled, and dreamed throughout history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Because every era has its story, and we're just getting started.